All right, PKN 285. Hal was just showing us that Bernie Sanders is crushing it in the early results. What are we looking at?
Yeah, it's caucuses, so this is going to shift, and this is early results. But at this station, Bernie's got 52% of the vote, and Biden has 6% of the vote.
Oh, that's poor.
That's crazy.
Wait, how can that be real?
Well, it's early. I think that it's so early. The results are just they don't represent what the final one will be yet. But if you like me, it's fun to watch. I've been waiting through the world's longest preseason ever, and today's the first game. So that's where I am. But yeah, I was even thinking about how to handle this politics season. I felt like what we did 4 years ago had room for improvement. Maybe it was too much politics. Probably mostly my fault, to be clear.
Yeah, it was all of us.
But this time around, it's like I don't want to completely avoid politics. It is the biggest topic of the day, but we can do it better. But yeah, so today is the first game of the season. Iowa caucuses. They hardly hand out any delegates, but it sets a tone, and that matters a lot. So we'll see what's up.
Yeah, to me, it's about.
Is this the betting line you just linked, or that's Chiz?
Yeah, Chiz just linked the betting lines. And
what does that mean if someone's plus 6,600? That means that they're tremendously.
It means that if I won $100, I got to bet $6,600.
Okay, whereas Bernie Sanders being minus 325 is you have to bet 325 to win 100.
I think that is what that means.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you bet 325, you'd get 425 back.
Yeah.
Some of my friends are so fucking into gambling. We were watching the Super Bowl last night, and they're like pulling stuff up, and they're like, "I got $50 riding on the under for the national anthem. The line's a minute 58," and like she was doing like in the. And like in that part of it, and they're like, "Come on, wrap it up!" And he won. It was only a minute and 52 seconds.
I think Chiz won like 8 bets on the Super Bowl. Like he had not just the winner, like he had like everything. It's really? Like 8 different lines he won. I don't know how much money.
Yeah.
It's
hundreds
of
time
dollars, maybe thousands.
Yeah, I think it was in the thousands, but the lowish thousands, right? He didn't bet the house.
Yeah,
but
still
really nice money for not working. It's a good deal.
Yeah. Anyway, we can jump back to politics and talk about the Super Bowl later. So
I mean, we don't really have anything. It's just these early results are really interesting. That's all. I was pleased to see that. That because I think the way Woody's right. I think this sets a tone. This has nothing to do with like, all right, he won Iowa. 2 more steps and he's the president. It's not that. It's more about name recognition. To me, it's about getting like we know Bernie, but I feel like maybe the average voter who doesn't watch a lot of television, or they're like, oh, that Biden feller, he was Obama's vice president. But then if he's getting his asshole pushed in. You see that, Gladys? Just a real mud dump.
And Biden in particular, his biggest strength is that he's winning. Right? He's winning because he's winning. He's popular because he's popular. He's popular. The stamp that he earned somehow is that he's the one who's the best chance of beating Trump. If he loses in Iowa, I feel like his strength gets tarnished a lot. So it's like extra important to him compared to maybe previous presidential candidates.
It's just interesting how quickly the wind changes with all these people. Like you'd think we'd remember just 4 years ago with the Republicans, where it's like, oh, fucking Jeb Bush surging ahead. Oh, humiliated by Trump. No one likes that guy anymore. Oh, here comes fucking that guy who's now in housing and urban development. No, stick to brain surgery, buddy. Yeah,
I forgot his name
Ben
too.
Carson.
Yes, that is it.
Yeah. And now, like, I was so convinced for a while. I was like, I was never on the Joe Biden train ever since the tooth stuff, and he started being ridiculous. I would have put money a couple months ago on Warren being the one that they were going to put up, and she has collapsed.
One thing that leads to that roller coaster is I feel like the media, and I don't usually
for sure
you jump onto media working as a thing, but I will always say they love controversy, and they grab outlier polls and say, look, there's this new poll now, Buttigieg is winning. Look at this one poll we found that's different from the other 9. Now Sanders is winning, or like here, this one, Real Clear Politics presents the polls in a format that I like.
They have good sports stuff too.
Do they? Oh, 537 has good sports stuff. I don't know if maybe you
That's
meant
what I'm
that.
thinking of. Yeah.
So if you look at this,
My link didn't work.
Bernie, that last link didn't work for you?
Here's another satellite. As soon as we look at your thing.
Okay. So
your
Bernie
link doesn't-
Sanders won this NBC's Wall Street Journal's point by 27 to 26 over Biden. That one out of the last, I can't count, 6, got more attention than the other 5 combined. The other 5 combined are boring. Biden wins every national poll. No one cares. It's not news. But when Bernie wins one, it gets all the attention. That's the narrative. Look who's surging. And I'm not saying Biden's going to win, only that it's easy to feel like the lead is flip-flopping when every outlier poll gets all the attention.
Yeah, well, I think it's to those of us who follow. I like Bernie a lot. And I think a lot of the stuff he says is pretty good stuff. You know, like there's a lot of it that I'm just like, okay, that's not gonna happen.
What's your favorite thing?
There's no telling. So many.
I don't know. It's up in the air.
Taylor, your arms look huge, by the way. I noticed it yesterday in the
I've been
hangout.
really going hard. So it means a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, but it to me, as it just seems like the more people are exposed to Sanders, the more that they will like him. It's like, I don't know, it's like chocolate. It's like if nobody ever heard of chocolate and vanilla is just winning in all the polls, and I'm like, they just got to taste a little chocolate. We're gonna win this thing. Chocolate destroys vanilla. It's not even close. Just all these old timers. It's all those old people. They've only ever had vanilla. They won't try the chocolate if they just smell it. We just got to get that. We just got to get them to smell it.
Somehow that's not
I bet he smells
racist
not
to
great.
me.
And then everybody's on your chocolate.
You're gonna like it, lady.
And fucking cookie dough.
Once you go chocolate, you never go backlit, I think.
Well, I apologize. My ice cream example has really gone off the rails. Suffice, I was just saying I'm a fan of Rocky Road, and I'm trying to make sure you can all taste me. Taste it. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
More
but I
than
think
Neapolitan guy.
Bernie's going to win Iowa. And if he doesn't, he's definitely going to win New Hampshire. And then I want to see what impact that has on the guy who's only winning because he's going to win.
I
mean,
mark
Vermont
my
and New
words.
Hampshire are
Mark my
basically
words.
the same
I don't
state.
even know that Biden is going to survive until November. Now, if he dies
not.
next week, watch. You're going to be like, all right, Kyle, so what's happening this week?
Holy shit, what did Biden have on Hillary?
And what did Kyle know?
Yeah, that.
I
I don't know.
love-
If
I love
Ginsburg
this
is
one.
still alive, then Biden can stick around.
Sanders
Oh.
67, Warren 32, and they're
Speaking,
at 0.
oh yeah, I
Zero,
didn't,
zero.
I didn't
Yeah,
share
that's
your
so-
image yet. Let me
It
share
just
it
started
for
though,
you.
right? Or I guess no, you can vote all day, right?
No, I think it starts at 5. And would that be 6 there? What is the time zone in Iowa? Does anyone know?
I was central.
Okay.
So,
yeah, so I think
yeah,
6, so same as you, but 6 for Eastern guys. Anyway, for people watching, it started half an hour ago.
Yeah, but the way caucuses work, like if the guy you wanted to vote for is like the fourth place, they're like, all right, that doesn't count, change it, right? There's something, yeah.
And you're right about, they literally go to like oftentimes high school gyms, like the basketball courts.
Yeah, that looks like where
indoors.
they are now.
Oh, yeah. Fuck. I think you're right. Or indoor
Yeah, go
football.
Bulldogs.
Is that
Yeah.
indoor football with the AstroTurf? I'm going to show it again
pretty
for anyone
cool.
watching.
It's a nice ass high school. If you got an indoor football field.
And they stand in corners, right? So, you go stand in the Elizabeth corner, you stand in the Bernie corner, etc. And if you're all by yourself voting for Steyer, they're like, all right, Steyer's not getting any delegates. Pick which new corner you go to. Or some people will be uncommitted. And how effective the other people are in that gym at selling their candidate to get you to switch over is a really big deal. And it's the one thing, I've had this question for ages. So Biden leads in all these polls, right? But he doesn't lead in enthusiasm, at least in my, perception.
For sure.
Does it matter, right? Does it matter if Taylor votes for Biden unenthusiastically and I vote for Sanders really enthusiastically? Does that matter? But I think in Iowa, it does.
Yeah.
Because this is a point where people are, cheering, bringing people over to their part of the gym.
Okay, so Biden is at 8%. We're gonna need you to change your vote. Elizabeth Warren or Bernie said, "Fuck it."
No, I'm going back to Steyer. Fuck you.
And then another thing that happens is people go home, right? They
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Oh,
I feel
okay.
like feel like Biden's voters just like, I'm awful confused.
Sometimes they're in that damn, in this case, what looks like an indoor football stadium. And
it's a bizarre field.
And like 11 p.m. rolls around and they're like, you know what? I decided I don't care that much. I'm going home.
They put turf down for this thing? It's just bizarre that there's an indoor.
Am I not seeing hashtags under his arm? Like
I see them, but you know,
and then
it be
in the
cross
circle
or something
of it.
like who does indoor football?
Maybe it's
arena football, but arena football has boards. So I don't.
High school
and high schools don't have arena football.
I made up the really confusing. They're not all high schools.
I'm more interested in the genesis of this playing field than I am any of this political stuff right now, to be honest.
I'm on the same page with you. What's going on?
Did they lay down the AstroTurf to protect the basketball court? Now I'm inventing
That's what I was
things.
thinking.
That'd be weird.
I'm asking.
They never do that.
What is the Iowa D Bulldogs? Like, what could this... I wish I knew what the rest of it said.
Yeah, I'm looking up the Iowa Bulldogs.
The Des Moines Bulldogs, maybe?
Well, that's the best we have so far.
There's a few Bulldogs in Iowa, unfortunately. Shit.
Oh, man, like the second most common fucking... or the most common...
Drake University, possibly?
Maybe. I forgot Drake was in Iowa.
Oh, I've known that long since before I just Googled it.
Yeah. You didn't know of renowned Iowa University, Drake? Fucking
Chiz is saying indoor soccer.
Oh,
yeah, that's probably right.
People do that.
But soccer fields are enormous, aren't they?
There's indoor
Not
soccer
indoor
too,
soccer.
and lots of intramural indoor soccers. That there's men's league indoor soccer.
Indoor soccer, smaller fields too.
I think that's a good guess, or a good no. Maybe he's not guessing at all.
I didn't know the way they did this was by like going to corners. That's pretty funny, but also it would be fun to go and like not really care either way and just try an alpha male and bully the room into doing what you wanted to do. Just one guy, he's like, pick a new one. He's like, nope, I'm doing it 12 Angry Men style. I can outlast all you fucking bitches, and I'll be the only one standing in Steyer corner.
No one goes home until we all vote for Steyer.
Yeah, everybody. I just told you, I'm not saying I have a gun. I don't have a gun. But I might in my car get in
Bloomberg is being hilarious, right? Now, first of all, I don't think everyone's been running in Iowa and New Hampshire for a year now. So Bloomberg is like, all right, I fold on those two states. I am beginning my campaign with Super Tuesday. And then you watch his ads. I don't even he did a 30-second ad where he just showed pictures of Donald Trump looking fat while golfing. And
it's a good ad. It's a funny ad.
And apparently Trump is like incensed over it, flipping his lid in the White House. But they're just unattractive photos of him unable to climb small inclines or making funny faces on his follow through.
He's got to know that Trump does not have a flattering ass. Especially when it's in those tight khakis, like you just see his
Bloomberg.
That's the picture I'm picturing. It's the one where he's like on his follow through, and he's just got his enormous old man ass filling out those bridges.
It's a big butt.
Bloomberg describes himself as an actual billionaire, right? Like throwing stones because I don't know what Trump's billions are worth. I've heard it's 2 or 3, and Bloomberg's is 40, so it's a significant difference.
Yeah, have you seen how much he pays in advertising? It's
it's
the
like
entire
100
campaign. Tulsi paid 1.1. Bernie paid 11.5. Warren paid 20. Bloomberg joined fucking 3 weeks ago. He spent $200 million.
You're right. He had a Super Bowl ad. I didn't even watch the Super Bowl, but I know
changed
about
the fucking rules for the debates to allow him in. Did you see that?
Yeah.
You guys mentioned it on the show. I didn't read it in the news.
Yeah. So I think that the
Rules
prerequisites
don't apply to
were.
billionaires.
One of the things was you had to have X amount of donations from Y amount of donors.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty good representation of your support. Mm-hmm. And he has one donor and $200 million, and they're like,
he's his own donor.
That'll do. That'll do. they just changed the rules to let him in.
Now I think it was one of you guys mentioned in the Hangout that Yang got booted, but I have low confidence, but I read that Yang was still in, so now I'm not sure what.
I don't know anything about that.
I think I must have been mistaken because I read somewhere that it might have resulted in him getting booted, but
I think there was someone else who who maybe couldn't make it because maybe they had slightly fewer donators or something. Like they were almost there, but then they changed the.
So the
thing
rules
for
still
him.
apply to everybody but Bloomberg.
Well, his unique circumstance is lots of money, one donor. I think the other guy's circumstance was good amount of money, quite a few donors, and so he's still not allowed.
His circumstance,
but who the fuck knows who that? We don't even know that guy's name. So
Yeah.
It almost deserves a rule change in that, like, he's like, well, I'm not trying to raise money. Most candidates, this is how they get elected. I'm going to self-fund. So, like, removing me from the debates, if I'm polling well enough, shouldn't do that. Like, you just make it so you can't self-fund.
yeah.
I don't understand why he's running at all. Like, I would imagine to try and like pilfer some from voters from Bernie or something.
It seems like some sort of personal vendetta against Donald
he
Trump.
has no grassroots support.
His ads are so hateful.
So Kyle has a strong point. I was going to answer differently. I think he viewed the Democratic field as weak. Like, most of them are, except for Biden and maybe Buttigieg, are too far left to win. So you take Buttigieg out maybe because of the gay thing. Biden's the only electable candidate, and he's not much stronger than Hillary, if at all. So I think he was like, dude, this is the weakest field ever. I'm going to throw my hat in. That to me is the opportunity he spotted. But we'll see.
How did Bloomberg make his money? Oh, probably a finance guy.
Media, right?
Yeah.
Don't
Media
care.
and finance, I guess. You know what? Now that I opened up his Wikipedia, I'm realizing I don't care. I don't care at all. He's short, though. I'm taller than you, bitch. You can't buy that.
He's easy to dislike. Like I see his YouTube ads, and they're like, the gun lobby's #1 enemy. I'm like, oh, okay. It's like a bunch of assault rifles being chopped in half or something like that.
Actually, no, I don't. Yeah, I'm starting to lean towards Kyle that he's just running as a vendetta because there is no fucking way that Bernie bros who are all stoked on Bernie are going to be like, well, I guess I'm going with the finance capitalist worth $60 billion since my boy Bernie got screwed out again.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to go with Elizabeth Warren, the most shrill person.
God, she seems so annoying. I really do prefer Hillary Clinton to her. If it were one or the other, I'd pick Hillary.
She doesn't
they're
rub me
both
the
so
same
terrible,
way.
but Hillary's way worse.
She has such a punchable face.
It's
Hillary's
the high
way
cheekbones
more
and
annoying.
Indian heritage. That's it. You're racist against almost Cherokees.
It's white people pretending to be Indians.
Pocahontas.
Pocahontas. More
Pocahontas. Yeah, I heard Rush Limbaugh call her Pocahontas today. He has advanced lung cancer, apparently. I read that as I was doing research.
The left is trolling him because he spent years saying that he smoked for like 30 years, and he's like, now I didn't smoke because of how great it is to stop. But he's still like featured in Cigar Aficionado magazine.
Ah, yeah. Why does it count?
Well, he smoked cigarettes prior to that.
Yeah.
And something else. I don't know. They're nailing him for his stance on secondhand smoke. Like, no one's ever been hurt or damaged from it. But I don't know what the truth is there. In any case,
I think secondhand smoke is very bad for you, for sure. I wouldn't want to be in the car with someone who's smoking, like especially with the windows up, especially. But then the other thing is, like, if some guy passes you on the street with a cigarette, don't act like you've just been shot. Don't hit the floor. Like, man down.
I don't mind secondhand smoking if it's cigars, because like sometimes cigars smell pretty good.
Sometimes
like the experience of smoking them sucks, but smelling somebody else's isn't too bad.
I agree with everything you said. I can find secondhand cigar smoke almost pleasant sometimes,
unless they're close to you. There's
I would rather
range.
smoke 5 cigarettes than a cigar.
But
there's this like happy pocket you need to be in to enjoy someone else's cigar smoke. Because I've been at a poker table. At poker tables, you're pretty much allowed to do whatever the fuck you want. Like nobody can mess with your personal habits over there. And there was this guy, and he'd be smoking this fat stogie, and it was like unraveling and falling apart because it's probably some cheap. It smelled like wet.
Lewis, just because we're drinking and smoking does not mean you can look at child porn on your phone.
I had to process that.
You said any and all vices were allowed. You're watching an 8-year-old blow an adult man. I'm culpable for what I'm seeing here if I don't call the authorities. Now I got to call the authorities on my illegal poker game because my friend decided to bring a bunch of kids blow banging one another on his phone.
Is that Jeffrey Epstein?
I got a couple things. Well, on the cigarette smoke thing, I really dislike cigarette smoke to the point where like someone could finish a cigarette and then maybe like 30 seconds later want to get in my car. And I never say anything, but internally I think it like, I guess, like even
Yeah,
though
you
they're
can
not
smell it.
actively smoking anymore, it's all over them. And something about cigarettes just stick more than almost any other odor. Like it's a thing. And Bloomberg, for $20,000 a year, you could get a physical device or software that provides access to a wealth of real-time financial market data. So that's what he did. He provided real-time market data, and that's where he got rich.
Okay.
Okay.
He also took everybody's 20-ounce sodas away, right?
The stop and frisk is the one that made him most. That's the thing that liberals are mad at him about the most.
Didn't that like drastically reduce crime in New York?
Yes, but it was at a time where crime drastically reduced in America. So it's hard to attribute how successful it
Hasn't
was.
crime gone up since they stopped doing it?
Don't think so. I go by these gun stats where it's just always going down, but
I
it's
feel
always
like
getting
Taylor
more
has
press.
no idea. He's just asking these. He's like, isn't it? Didn't a lot of people die from the frisking? Weren't
People,
some children?
some people like being frisked.
Didn't a lot of child molesters volunteer to be friskers?
Yeah. You got to stop.
Actually, I think
That's
New York
funny.
gun shooting.
God damn it, Ted! That little girl don't have nothing. You've been on her for half an hour. I'll find something. I always do.
I think she's smuggling something near these budding titties. Right?
These New York friskers sound suspiciously southern.
Yeah, they do. Now, you know how we is around these parts in New York City. Yeah.
Now up in the Bronx, we've been frisking for years.
Do you know that in like Hasidic communities in New York, they have their own police,
Oh yeah. Like the
and they'll
religious
just
police.
harass the shit out of people in like fake cop cars, and they just are allowed to do it. It's like, what? You can just have your own police? How's that allowed?
I think it's like private security, but it's more like almost like a religious police too. At the same time, right? Like they're gonna catch you if you're eating the wrong thing or your dreadlocks don't look right.
Or if you're not Hasidic walking around their neighborhood late at night.
Oh, that'd do it.
What are you doing over here? I saw you pick up a penny over there and it was not yours. You did not drop it. Yeah,
I found a better one. That link I just sent, New York. It's murders, not necessarily gun murders, which I guess is what Stop and Frisk was about, or drugs. I don't know. But you know what? It's not bad. The first one I showed kind of demonstrates how it went down in all these places, Newark and even farther away. And this shows the huge drop that happened. Whatever. It just has been going down since 1990, really.
Man,
I've only been to New York like three.
Year.
I've only been to New York like 3 or 4 times. I think 3. And I spent probably a total of 2 weeks there walking around. And what I discovered was that if you're just a little bit polite, you are a real outlier and people appreciate it. Like you start holding a few doors open and they're like suspicious of you. like what are you gonna mug me when I walk through? You're trying to get behind me, right?
I'm the opposite. When I'm in New York, I'm like, all right, you need to look slightly angry and keep to yourself.
I did the opposite. I'm smiling. I'm like, no,
being
sir,
friendly.
after you. And he's like, yeah.
That paints you as a
Mirrors
target.
used to be a thing. I remember those times, the 50s.
That guy's not from around here.
Dude, walking around the Midwest, it's the exact opposite. If a guy doesn't hold the door open for me as I'm like walking into the gas station, I'm like, where does he get off?
Yeah.
Because I open every door.
I hold every door.
You gotta be
See,
polite.
I'm from Jersey, but I've moved south, so I have my own system. I base it on how hot you are.
Oh.
You know,
That guy's pretty cute.
if you're good looking enough, you can be 40 feet away. I'll wait. But if you're Fatty McFatty, that door closes right behind me. I might pull it.
As they're coming, you're pulling it close.
It was a good workout, actually.
You can't get in here, Sally.
It's like Rose.
This quick trip isn't for you, fat. This is a quick trip.
Fats. That's the Biden reference.
Yeah.
I got it. I try to be as polite as possible to average people. I notice they always really appreciate it. I'm very always yes sir, no ma'am.
Yeah, it's
Always
important
getting
to be
those
polite.
doors for folk.
Yeah,
No,
yes,
you
sir.
go after me.
No, ma'am. I feel like sometimes the no, ma'am is a little tougher because if it's like a woman about my age and I'm trying to be polite, and she's like a fucking bank teller or something.
Yeah.
No, ma'am feels like she might think like, what the hell? Where's this guy getting off? How old does he think I am?
You ever throw a madam in there and tip a fake hat that's not even
That's
there?
beyond gay. Of course not.
No, I don't, Kyle, because I've had sex.
I
How about a
gallivanting
milady
in with my cod piece and my top hat.
Yeah, you just give him a milady, and then you tip a hat that's not even there, and oh, that gets the juices
That
flowing.
reminds me of
That sounds lame.
4chan
That's why I
picture.
just shake my cane.
Do you remember that old 4chan meme? This is probably like 7-8 years ago now, and it's like on a college campus, and it shows a guy wearing like athletic shorts and a tank top, like clearly come back from the gym or going to the gym, pretty fit, and then he's with a girl, also fit. You know, they're walking together, clearly, you know, boyfriend, girlfriend, maybe something like that, hooking up, and they're both like fit people going to the gym. And it was a picture of their backs, and you could see, and it was the comment was like, I am tired of putting all this effort into my appearance. Get a load of this guy. I dress better than him. I spend more money on my outfit than him, and he's the one who's taking home the girls. Life is a fucking joke. This is just in it, but you could see like the two fit people walking away, and it's just a shadow of the guy who took the picture, just an enormous fat guy with a fedora on, and it's like,
I have seen that.
it's not because of your clothes, dude.
Right. Actually, that guy puts more effort into his appearance than you do.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
It's yeah.
Oh, Kyle
perfect.
nailed it. I'll show it to
And I love the laughing stock photos.
The
Next to
laughing stock photos.
it.
So,
the fedora's too fucking perfect.
The fedora. Look at his head to body ratio.
I'm not showing it well to everyone. Yeah,
It's
that's
1 to
so
30.
Oh, Jesus, and his back got bad posture too.
I don't think that was unintentional. What it says is, what annoys me is I dress way better than most of these faggots running around there. These douchebags still get the women. Took this a while back of some goober in lame ass shorts in high school, kind of shit with this cutie pie. I guess you got to be an asshole to get women these days. And yeah.
But I love that he's attacking this guy, what this guy's wearing, as if this is like he's going out for a night on the town. When clearly, like he's probably been jogging.
I feel
Or
like
jogging. I believe it's called jogging.
Yes.
But isn't our part of this conversation like people claiming that Hulk Hogan's going to beat some guy based on merits? Like this is all a ruse, right? He posted it knowing his shadow was there, and
Oh, I don't know about that, man.
If so, still a very funny bit. Like,
True.
I'm fine with it either way. But like I liked what you said there, Woody. It reminded me of like actually no, that other guy put a lot more effort into his appearance than him. It's like that. It's some quote from Schwarzenegger that I like a lot, where he's like, "You can't buy it, you can't rent it, you can't cheat your way into it." Like the fact that my physique's like this, like it shows discipline. People look at me and they immediately know, like, I'm
Or
Arnold
prison
Schwarzenegger.
time.
You're fucking. Look at me, like you can't. I don't know. It like motivated me. It was
Taylor's
like, damn.
motivation is gonna overwhelm me. I'm psyched. Keep it up, Taylor. Keep it up. I want to work out more than I am. I worked out yesterday. I did well, but I still have to go easy on with the elbow thing. I feel like if I put in all the enthusiasm I have, then I'll need to take 6 weeks off.
It's not worth it. Like
Yeah.
it's better to wait.
It's time
too
to get
long
out there in the
than not long
pool
enough.
with some of those resistant things.
It's February.
This is part of the PT. I do this every day, all day, just strengthening my dumbass little muscles so I can work the big ones without getting hurt.
Is that all you're supposed to do? Go like that?
There's two things. Yeah, the injury is here, and the way to exercise it is to go like this. Try to get a good one, and I just like a lot. Probably do it. It hurt. It starts to get sore around 50, so that's about what I do, and I probably do that 6 times a day, every day. But
Good.
maybe that's why I'm not healing.
I don't think so.
When you're twisting it, you're supposed to bend it. Good God.
Well, that's another thing I do, but that one doesn't hit the right muscles for me. But what
Any
was I
more
gonna
results?
say?
This Iowa shit.
Rush Limbaugh. We already talked about that.
Yeah, well, that sucks. I've never in my entire life listened to the Rush Limbaugh show.
You should listen to him, man. He's fun.
I mean, if I'm listening to radio, I'm pretty much always listening to old Opie and Anthony's. I've been re-listening the last few days through Lady Di's internship again, and that is so fucking funny.
You got to watch that, I think. That's better watched than heard.
Oh, I haven't seen the video version of it. I've watched like the clip versions
What are we
of the
talking- I'm
videos where they
lost.
have a bunch of little
We're
ones.
talking about O&A, and when they had
old Opie
this,
and Anthony.
they had this lady called Lady Di come in and like literally start working for them, and she's like vomiting and shitting herself.
She's a
and-
hardcore alcoholic and was like going into withdrawals. Like there was
Yeah.
one, I was listening to one today, and it's me like at this point though, like this Lady Di internship was from 2014, and the last clip of her was on after Anthony got fired, was on Opie and Jim show, and when she calls in and she's totally got whatever that like wet brain, like you've been an alcoholic for 50 years disease or whatever, and like she thinks that she's in the Navy, she thinks Reagan is president. Do you remember that? Where she's
I don't know about that one. That's great.
No, literally it's just Jim and Opie, and they're like, "Hey, Lady Di, it's been a while. What's up?" She's like, "Oh, I'm okay. I'm on a ship. I'm on a Navy ship." They're like, "Really? You're on a Navy ship? Where are you docked?" And she's like, clearly in a mental home now, and she's asking on the orderly, like, "Excuse me, where are we docked? Where are we docked?" They don't know. They don't know where we are.
We're off the coast of Norfolk, ma'am. Now please take these pills.
But when she was doing the fucking the internship, it was like 2 hours into the first day, and they're like, "Have you had anything to drink?" You know, it's a radio show, so it starts like 6:30 in the morning. It's probably 7 or 8 right now, and they're like, "Did you drink anything today?" She's like, "No, not at all." "Well, I had 2 natty ices at 2 a.m. It's like, okay, well that's weird, but okay. And then like in the middle of a bit, she gets like, I guess, a type of withdrawal where you just start like dry heaving, like you're gonna vomit. And so they're trying to talk about something, and she's just going, and then the Jim and Anthony are like, "Oh, stop it, Lady Di, stop!" Or she's like, I'm really sorry. And so she goes and she vomits in the sink in the ladies' room, and they kick her out of the bathroom for her entire internship, and she has to go with the Starbucks across the street.
Can you imagine being like a normal guest for that show and coming in and seeing that? Like if you're an actual celebrity. I know on the Stern show, like the bathroom situation was always really fucked up. Like Howard has his own toilet and nobody but his. But then there's also like, there's 2 more tiers of toilets below that. There's like a staff bathroom / guest bathroom. And then there's like the bathroom for the whole hallway. This is going back a while because they've redone all the bathrooms since then a couple times at the Sirius studios. But I remember they had one of their notoriously disgusting guests. I don't remember who it was. Maybe Beetlejuice, the little midget that has that that pointy head syndrome,
microencephaly or something.
Yeah, he had shit in the floor, like he laid a turd right in the floor. And they had some guest like an A-list celebrity, like I don't know, Christy Brinkley, or like maybe that supermodel that was on America's Got Talent, like Heidi Klum, like somebody like that. And they're like, "Heidi Klum almost stepped, and this fucker shit. What are we going to do?" And Robin's like, "I went in there and I saw the shit. And I went and I told Roberta, there's a shit. There's a shit in the floor. It's a little one, but it's definitely a shit." And they're just having a guy. And of course, like you go to Beetlejuice, he's retarded. And you ask him, like, "Did you make a mess on the floor?" "Me? Who, me? No, no. Don't you usually wear diapers?" "I don't wear no diapers." And everybody around him is like nodding, like, "He wears diapers. You can see the."
He wears diapers.
Yeah, it's disgusting. Disgusting. The people. It's such a weird dichotomy of guests. You've got on one end you've got literally a retarded midget that they found on the street. On the other end, it's an A-list celebrity that we've all heard of. You know, Robert Downey Jr. will be in at 3, but first let's go to Beetlejuice.
I just liked that.
God,
that's for you later, Kyle.
Yeah, I'll watch it.
Have you watched Howard lately? Has he redeemed himself at all for you?
I canceled the service.
Yeah. So that's a no.
Yeah.
No. Did you cancel it just 3 months ago before you took off?
Yeah, before I went to prison, I canceled it, and I had no interest in like re-upping.
How much is it? Like $15 a month?
You can negotiate. Like, I don't know what it starts at, but if you just keep being like, it seems a little steep. I don't know. I really want to watch, but that's just keep hassling them. And all of a sudden it's like $4 a month or something. Like it starts at like $45, $50 a month, but there's seemingly no bottom because there's no cost to like signing you up. Yeah. And there's only the value of you as another subscriber to them. So at some point,
even if you were free, in theory, you'd be better than canceled.
Exactly. Yeah. So they'll just keep. Nah, I think I want out. No, sir. We it's because you're a loyal customer. We have this program. I don't think so. Well, I mean, maybe we could. No, and they'll just keep lowering the price over and over. And they'll be like, well, we could make it this little for this long, and we could throw in this, and yeah, they'll lower the shit out of that price if you negotiate. And they just turn it on. You know, if you've got like a modern vehicle like you do, You know, you just be like, yeah, I'm in this car, and they're like, I'll turn your radio to channel 0 and tell me what the code is. And you tell them the code, and they're like, all right, now you have SiriusXM.
And even if your car didn't do it, you can do it through your phone. So if your car works with your phone at all, that's an option.
Yep. Yeah. And once you've got it, you have access to like having it on your phone, having it on your computer or tablet, whatever, all your devices, and also having access to like the videos that the Stern Show does. They've got a whole department, which is probably just 2 guys that do a lot of video stuff for them, and it's often worth seeing what's actually happening in that studio.
My truck, one thing that frustrates me, if I plug my phone in, it's great. But if I don't plug my phone in, that like middle console, it goes to like serious advertisements telling me that I didn't pay for the subscription after 6 months, or it goes to some FM, I don't even want to say station. It goes to FM static and just like, and it's like, I'm hurrying, I'm trying to plug it in. I have to unlock and like, I wish it was just like, hey, this is a good station. This is where Woody likes to be until he plugs his phone in and stayed there.
Can't you do that like in the interim? Like can't you get in your truck, put it on like FM 101.1, like golden oldies, and then turn your truck off, and next time you get in, it's going to just be on that, and then you can plug your thing in while the oldies play?
It seems to change. You know, with like I never touched it. Like all I do is plug my phone in and go there, but I get different things all the time when the phone's not plugged in.
Yeah, I just listen to local radio. I listen to a little bit of talk. There's like a
local radio. You don't just go straight up funny shit on YouTube or podcasts or
no.
I can't remember the last time I listened to regular radio.
YouTube on your car.
Yeah. I have unlimited data, so I'll just play the video and have it go through my Bluetooth or whatever I'm doing.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Do you look at it at all? Like, can you?
Nope. No. Usually, like it's literally shit like old O&A, and there are tens of thousands of hours of this show, and I'll
listen to it's Atlanta. It's good radio. So I'll listen to like 70s, or I'll listen to talk radio, one or the other.
I listen to Spotify almost all the time, and it has like a daily drive thing where it actually gives you songs based on like the songs you've already proven to like and listen to the end, and then it has like a little news stuff, and sometimes the news is really interesting. Like news doesn't really tell the whole story. Like it'll be little podcast anecdotes about a plane or something, and it's pretty cool. Catches my interest.
Oh, if you want a new show, HBO has a really good series that's ongoing right now. There are 5 episodes in. It's called The Outsider. It has Jason Bateman in it, the guy from Ozark.
Yeah.
And he directs it as well. And it is bizarre.
Really? He directed some of Ozark too. He's a talented guy. I like him. He's a good actor.
Ageless somehow.
Yeah, he looks really good in this show. He's been playing a 40-year-old dad for the last 40 years.
Yes.
It's but The Outsider. It's based on a Stephen King thing, I believe. What I read was it was based in the Stephen King universe, and there were multiple stories within it. But I haven't noticed that thus far. Basically, it's a guy who all the evidence points to the fact that Jason Bateman has raped and murdered a young boy, except for all the evidence that doesn't. And they don't know what to do. They're like, well, here's video of him 100 miles away, but here's his fingerprints all over a dead boy with a stick up his ass. Here's fingerprints of him at a hotel 100 miles away when it happened, but here's video of him in town at the strip club covered in blood.
Here's a TikTok of him coming onto the child.
yeah, literally. Yeah, not literally a TikTok of him coming on the child, but his DNA is on the child because the child's been like, the child didn't just get
murdered and raped.
He got maped hard, and he's torn apart. Like they're like, when they find the body at first, they're like, was it an animal? And the guy just goes, no. And they're just like, dun dun dun.
Didn't we decide that maped means murdered and then raped?
Yeah,
that's what happened.
I don't know, man.
Okay. The order of events is very important to me.
I much prefer to get murdered. If I'm going to get raped and murdered, kill me first.
Yeah. Well, tell me more about this rapist.
As a courtesy.
Is she hot?
Well, it's a man, and he's got burly friends and lots of tattoos and probably an STD.
You're really not selling it. Okay, I'm going with
I picture him as fat, wearing leather, and smells terrible.
I like to think of him as hot, small-cocked, because I'm new to this, and gentle.
Circumcised.
Yeah.
That's got to be like a little bit of like a, oh, thank God. Like if you're about to get raped by like a biker gang guy, or there's some thug that's like going to rape you and you just takes his pants off and he's got a micro pee and you're like, thank God for small miracles.
I remember nothing ever happened, but so I'm a lifeguard and there's this girl and this girl likes me. And my stand partner is trying to get me laid, right? Because she likes me a little. And one of his selling, he's like, it would have been her first time. And he's like, he does not have a big penis. It's like just a little under average. He'd be perfect for your first time. And I heard it and I was like, I'm just going to roll with that. Whatever works.
That guy was trying to hook up with her himself.
All right, I just didn't see through it.
Yeah. Not like me though. I got a horse dick.
He's also a really interesting guy. You never know what he's gonna do. Very spontaneous. He just goes crazy sometimes. He gets violent. You're gonna love him.
Yeah, the other day I was watching him and he just straight up decided not to save a kid.
I saw him stab a dolphin once.
I'm sorry, I had like 15 minutes for my fucking sunscreen to soak in. I can't jump in after you. Yeah.
But yeah, highly recommend that show. It's got a bit of a supernatural element to it, which is very cool.
Is it a series or is it a mini series?
There's 5 episodes of it out, and I'm guessing they're going to 10.
Ooh, so it is a miniseries.
I completely agree that supernatural, especially a hint of it, can be really cool, but often not handled well. Often it's like Lost is a good example, right? Where Walter had these powers where he could wish things into existence and smoke monsters, and then it just sort of never did a thing. Like it just.
This is doing a thing.
Okay.
You have a character who has this. It's not autism. It's some sort of. The way her brain is wired, she's someone they hire as a private investigator to try to get in the bottom of everything. And she's like, she has really hard time with social situations, but she can look at a building and tell you within like 1 foot of how tall it is. And they're just walking. He's like, what about that one? He's like, 437 feet. What about this one? 323 feet. He's like, give or take a foot. She's like, no, exactly. He goes, how tall are you? She's like, I have no idea. How tall am I? 6'1.5". It's so she's a really cool character, and then but there's just this head scratcher of a mystery of all the conflicting evidence, and just like in a lot of Stephen King stuff, it seems like the real monster a lot of times can be humanity. So like the townspeople are just very hateful toward this guy's family because they think he raped and murdered the small child. And there's a lot of heartfelt moments. Jason Bateman has a great scene in the first episode. I'm really digging it. When I got to the 5th episode and it didn't like start like that countdown for the 6th, I was like, oh no, I did that glitch thing where it's not going to automatically go to. I got to back out. And wait, there's not a 6th? Fuck! I thought this was all out. Shit.
That happened to me on Game of Thrones. Like I watched the first season because everyone was like, winter is coming and the meme got big, so I found the show and I watched it, and I think I watched the 2nd. That's when I discovered it, and then it was like, what? No.
You and I got into it almost exactly the same time. I think there was like 2 seasons out, maybe.
Right. Or maybe even like 1 3/4, and by the time I finished the 2nd, it was there.
We were getting there. Yeah, I remember. I don't know if you recommended it or maybe you were just talking about it on the show and that's how I got into it, but like we both got into it at the same time, and just like everybody else, it's like, oh my God, this is the best TV show that's ever been made.
For a while, it was.
For like 5 years, yeah.
Such a disappointment.
We don't need to beat that horse again.
Yeah, no, okay, we don't have to.
Kyle's right, but I still agree.
Did either of you guys watch the Super Bowl?
I just write him a strongly worded letter every Thursday, and that gets the poison out for me. No, I did not watch it. I tuned in and watched the commercials today. Which is how you should enjoy the Super Bowl, because who cares who wins the game? That has nothing to do with any of your teams. I don't care about the Chiefs or the 49ers.
I heard they zoomed in on the girls' asses in the halftime show, so I found that on YouTube and saw it.
Yeah, I saw it 3 or 4 different times.
I didn't watch any of the halftime show. I went and played Super Smash.
That's okay. They had a 43-year-old and a 55-year-old shaking their asses for everyone.
Super hot. And like these are 0.1 percenters for their demo.
Mm-hmm.
And if they were 25,
I'd rather watch a 22-year-old.
They'd still be up 3%, like in the public. Like it.
Yeah. And for the
would
halftime
you rather
show,
fuck a 10 out of 10 55-year-old or a 5 out of 10.
Thankfully, Taylor,
3-year-old.
as you age, your standards decline.
Okay, that's good to know. Yeah. No, I did not. I had more fun watching my friends that are clearly way too into betting and gambling on stupid things like like how many times will like Shakira shake her ass or something or whatever the hell it was.
Those are fun.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. It was fun to watch. Like I don't bet or anything, but it was just like seeing silly little things like that. It was enjoyable. But yeah, I'm glad the Chiefs won. Fuck yeah. That's 2 championships in Missouri this year. Fuck Boston.
The Eagles fans are all excited about it. So Andy Reid was a beloved coach in Philadelphia. He did a good job for a long time, but they fired him. And it was always like, thanks for what you did, but, we're going to keep trying. Then we won the Super Bowl. And then 2 years later, I think, he wins the Super Bowl. And even the Eagles Twitter was like, hey, good on you, man. So it's happy time in Philly.
Good. I'm glad because I saw that Trump tweeted, he's like, and I'm really happy for all the people in Kansas City, Kansas. What a wonderful state and awesome place. And then you see all these like blue check fucking losers being like, oh, actually, it's in Missouri. And it's like, don't pretend like anyone outside of the Midwest just doesn't assume Kansas City's in Kansas. It's a very easy mistake to make. If you're the president, you shouldn't make that mistake because it's pretty easy. But like everybody coming in with their hot takes, as 2 seconds earlier, these journalists are Googling like, I better be extra sure before I take this risk. Oh, yes, it is in Missouri.
My wife told me about it. He said this, and I was like, you can't hate him for everything. Like any president would have congratulated the winner of the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And then she told me Kansas City wasn't in Kansas. And I was like, right. I half knew that. Yeah, I see. He should have known.
There's a little bit of it in Kansas, like one suburbs.
Yeah, right. I get out. I knew that too, but I didn't instantly think of it.
I was referring to Overland.
I cut him I cut him a lot of slack because I could have done that myself.
Yeah, it's like it's just funny. It's like, give him a fucking break. It's called Kansas City, and it's 10% of it's in Kansas.
What? I don't know any other cities that are in separate states. Like that's a weird thing to me.
Oh, yeah, there definitely are.
I mean, across states. Yeah, like yeah.
Well, St. Louis too.
There's that one point
in Illinois.
There's this one point you can stand in. I want to say it's in New Mexico, where you're in like 3 or 4 different states. Like the corners all like meet.
Yeah, it's in Yellowstone.
They have the spot. There may be one in Yellowstone, but there's also one in like northern New Mexico. That's
you can look at it. I'll look at the map.
New Mexico, Arizona, Utah, and Colorado. Is that right?
Yeah, I think that does sound right.
Yeah, I know that off the top of my head.
Yeah, but it's
I know my fucking states, man.
Say them again
on that 3rd grade test. It was New Mexico, Arizona, Colorado, Utah, or Utah, Colorado.
Yeah, I drove through there a couple
4
years ago.
Yeah.
It's I went to New Mexico and rented a Mustang, and I went on a real long drive up through there.
For fun or
something like that.
For sex.
So you said you could stand in those 4 things, but you don't think that you're standing in 4 towns when you're near that intersection?
No, definitely not standing in 4 towns when you do that.
It's like a pretty barren
you may
area.
be you're standing in 4 counties for sure, right?
Okay, yeah, work with me. Like what I'm saying is it's unusual to me, I guess, from where I've come from, to have a town that goes across a state line. But Taylor can
you would think
2.
that would really fuck up how they do like municipal garbage and like and zoning and all that stuff.
Doesn't
all
the
of
state
the
fund a lot of town
government.
shit? Do they just like split
it is different. Like if you live in like my brother lives in the Missouri side of Kansas City. A good buddy of mine lives in the Kansas side of Kansas City. And like it's totally separate. Like they have different governments and shit. Like the same way that like East St. Louis is Illinois. It's bullshit that they lump in all that crime with St. Louis just because it has the same name.
Do they share a police department?
I think that they have some crossover in what they do, but
probably
like strictly
a
they
sheriff's
have
department,
an East
but not
PD
a police
and
department.
St. Louis Metropolitan PD.
Yeah,
I would not want to.
I still feel like this is unnecessary complications to split towns across states.
I'd also like if we just called East St. Louis something else. Call it Honduras 2.
But wait, isn't that in your state?
No, that's in Illinois. That's
Honduras 2.
I'm just wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, you don't know the local geography in my area, idiot.
I've been off a couple. I thought Yang was way wealthier than he was. I got your city wrong, and there's something else I missed too. But You gotta, I don't know, fact check gets his facts wrong.
Hey, that's the way it goes. Or is any more news coming in from who's winning the?
It's
I'm
all
a
the
little
same.
confused. So in that link that I sent, it says that the caucuses start in 51 minutes
Yeah, I think this is like,
or 39
51
now.
minutes.
Did you see it?
I think this is some sort of satellite polling or something. I don't understand.
Yeah.
The whole
There's
idea
just
of a
no way. They're in Central Time. It's 6:20.
The way we pick the ruler of the world is the most absurd fucking system ever.
Yeah, democracy. Who was it that said, like, I think it was Thomas Jefferson, that's like a 5-minute conversation with the average voter is the best argument against democracy.
You don't
In
like
his
democracy?
time, you know that was true, right? Like in our time,
In our time, it's true.
All right, in our time, it can be true. In his time, it would have been shocking. It would have been shocking. Like what do you think that little noise inside your chest is? Well, that's just angels dancing. like they had no fucking idea about it. Even
but also, it
basic
didn't matter nearly as much because, like, back then, states' rights were way bigger, federal power was way lower, and so, like, a guy living in, fucking Georgia or whatever, who the president was really didn't impact him that much for the most part. It wasn't until later that imbalance started happening, and now obviously the president impacts a fuck of a lot.
Kyle, when you said the way we pick the presidency is crazy, were you talking about the primaries or the electoral college? All the way,
the entire.
You should do a lottery.
There's very little about how we select who, and it's. I think it's almost too. It undersells it just to call him the president because he does so much. He has so much power, like on a global scale. Like he is like, all right, we're gonna pick the guy who has the largest nuclear arsenal that's ever existed. We're going to give him the most powerful military machine that's ever existed because it's almost every year it's gotten stronger. Certainly this year it's the strongest it's ever been.
When Trump get elected, Kyle used the phrasing like, Trump is going to be, because he was the president-elect, the most powerful man who has ever existed in human history. And I processed it, and I was like, I think he's right. He is. For now, America has the best army. They're the best military, and no one's had a better one in the past. So, darn.
At some point, that's going to peak, and it's like, well, we're not really number one anymore. So.
Even now, I wonder. Like I've been watching videos lately about military, planes and ships and stuff like that, and they're like, the F-22 is $115 million a pop. So you hear that as an American, and you're like, well, that must be pretty good for $115 million. And they're like, yeah, they're incentivized to make it as expensive as possible and not verticalize the manufacturing, to spread out these jobs across all these different states to get senators to vote for it. And I'm like, that's where our military's going. That's it. The fact that we spend more to the next 10 countries combined doesn't mean we can beat the next 10 countries combined, which is what you'd think it implies. It just means we're fucking wasteful.
We lost to Vietnam.
Yes. Well, we lost to Vietnam because we chose very disadvantageous rules. Like the Yankees would lose to a fucking little league team if they decided they didn't get to swing the bat. All right, Yankees don't get to hit. But
actually, fair. Vietnam and Afghanistan are some of the arguments I use in favor of private gun ownership in America. Because the liberals will be like, hey, we're really going to stand up against the United States Army with your Colt 9mm or whatever. And it's like, well, Afghanistan's still standing. Like you don't quit. I'm sorry, you don't lose until you quit. And
oh yeah, those people are fucking retards. Where they're like, oh, how are you gonna fight back against, I don't know, a battleship? And it's like battleships don't stand on street corners and enforce the martial law. You fucking idiot! You think most police officers are gonna be down for that once the 5 other buddies get shot by a bunch of good old boys?
I don't think I'd personally win, right? Like if I cause enough trouble, they just zoom by with an F-22 and put it right in the middle of my yard, which is where the house is, and we're all gone, right? I'm not saying that I can take on the government.
And they couldn't even do that. Can you imagine incensing the population of a country more?
Well, this is a scenario where there's like a civil war, like Afghanistan or Iraq kind of backed off eventually. The surge pushed them down. But for a time there, it was like, a bunch of small arms actually is effective if people just refuse to stop shooting. So
I've been watching a lot of those. I found a YouTube channel that breaks down American weaponry, and there's such a huge advantage on like they were just talking about the aircraft carrier, and they're like, it's not just the aircraft carrier. It's that no aircraft carrier goes out without all of these other boats with it. Now, here's what all these other boats do. And every time they like show a class of weaponry, like, all right, these are the sixth generation fighters that exist on the planet right now. There's ours. Oh wait, that's it. That's it. There's just the one. There's just the one that we have.
Kyle, I think I watched the same video. Like what in the last week. This guy is getting loved by the YouTube algorithm right now.
I see that a lot. Yeah, he's got a bunch of them. Like he did one on the submarines, and then he did one on the aircraft carriers, and then he did one on the various fighter jets.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
How
Against
many
the
of them
Chinese
and
one,
then
maybe
B-2 bomber. One of them was like
why the
five,
B-52 has lasted so long. Did you?
That's one of them. It was like 5 weapons that five American weapon systems that everyone's afraid of, or maybe there was China was afraid of.
There was some Warthog one.
Yeah, have you seen that new rifle that the military is going with over the M4? I don't think it's phasing the M4 out completely, but that's kind of the idea eventually. This caseless 6.8.
I did, but that's interesting. Did you see the new one that Russia's going with?
The AK-12, I think.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Ours is outrageous. It's a 6.8 millimeter caseless ammunition firing thing. The bullets eject from the bottom. It's got the one I saw had a folding stock, and then it looked like they were replacing the 240 Bravo, which is the 308.
Can you say the name of the first one again so I can find a picture?
It's letters. I can find it.
I'm looking up M4 replacement.
Yeah, so like 6.8.
Disable my ad blocker.
Shut the fuck up, bitch. I'm not disabling shit. I'm gonna pop into an incognito window.
Not without a fight. Is it called an MCX Spear, perhaps?
That's a cooler name than M4.
It is the... I have it here. It's
MCX Spear.
By Sig Sauer?
That sounds right. It's the Textron. Oh, maybe this is the Textron might be something else.
It could be they're also replacing the Saw at the same time. Maybe that's
well. This is the video. Obviously, we're not going to watch the video, but this is what I watched. It looks really cool. The belt fed machine gun they're talking about replacing the 240 Bravo with is like a 338 Norman caliber. It looks absurd.
What does that mean? Norman caliber.
I think Norman is a German round. But 338 is a much bigger caliber. I'm more familiar with 338 Lapua, which is different, but it's 338 is the diameter of the bullet, 0.338 inches.
I don't understand what a caseless bullet is. So like that, what is the case's function is goes with the bullet out the front? What goes out the bottom? I don't think I know caseless bullet.
Are you watching this video, Woody, or are you reading something separate?
Kyle mentioned caseless bullet, and it's a new concept
they mentioned
to me.
it too, but I see the thing falling out the bottom.
Yeah,
it looks completely different. But it seems to me that that's still a case.
Okay. Well, we'll have to. I'm curious about this.
Yeah, it's 6.8 is a cool round. I've got some experience with the 6.8 round, and I had an AR-15 that fired it from Daniel Defense. But it's I know that it weighs the rounds weigh less each than the 5.56 round, I think. And I believe they still use a lot of the same stuff, although obviously they're going to a whole different platform. Like this is a new magazine system. This is a new everything. I think it's got an electronic trigger there. The way that it ejects the rounds is really funky. Like there's like an animated like display at one point where they show it like firing and all the inner workings like skeletonized.
Just see, I'm showing it to the people on mute right now. They can hear you.
That's really cool.
Yeah. At one point, it popped up the question, is this too fancy for the inventory? This is why we can't have nice things. And that, you need a working battery for your gun to be reliable? That raises alarms in my head, but what do I know?
Yeah.
It
seems like another point of failure potentially, right?
Sure, but there are a lot of batteries that do little things like that last forever. There's some optic that I was reading about the other day.
Good point.
And the battery literally lasts for like 10 years of continuous use or something like that. Like it's
just
just
a battery in your
so
computer
little power.
keeping the time. 15 years from now, it'll probably still be on.
Yeah. But this guy's got a cool channel. He does a lot of stuff like this, and he's ex-army.
My mind's being blown right now about battery facts.
Subscribe to PKN Battery Facts.
Yeah, I had no idea. Yeah, okay,
this guy-
that's pretty cool.
Oh, he's showing the ammo right now.
How far are you into the video?
628, and I don't know. I don't understand caseless, or maybe that was just off target. But it has a steel base instead of brass. That's interesting. Anyway, I think I interrupted.
Yeah, that
somebody to
looks
say
weird.
That. Does it? Usually, there's not that like. It's like it has a brass tube on it and then a steel base. That's new to me. Usually, that's one piece with a little cutout for the primer in the back center.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a new thing, Kyle? Like that's not
having a steel base.
Yeah.
I've never seen that before, but I doubt it's a brand new technology.
Hmm.
That's not even the round that they were displaying earlier. The one they were showing that I was looking at was, let's see.
Damn, this guy's channel looks cool. I need to watch more of this.
Yeah, task and purpose. So that sub to him so he's not mad at us for looking at his video in the show.
Yeah. That's going to be my evening after I have dinner. I'm going to watch a couple task and purpose videos, and then I'm going to pop on over to Townsend and Son. Watch that fucker just
What is that?
love the 17th century, 18th century cooking. It's that same guy I always joke about. Such a good channel.
Yeah, but what they're showing there is not caseless ammo. I think that maybe the rifle is capable of firing the new caseless ammo, but the caseless ammo is completely different. It's more like the primer is igniting powder, and then there's the bullet, but there's no case in between.
We're not possibly thinking of the one that replaces the saw. Like, could you have conflated those or no?
No, there's a caseless 6.8 millimeter round that they're talking about. This rifle could fire, but what he's displaying there is probably a much more likely replacement because, like he said, I mean, we play paintball where like the gun works fine in our backyard, but when you actually go out in the field where there's like dirt and grime and you jump and fall, like everything falls to fucking pieces and nothing works. Real guns are just the same way. Like you wouldn't guns that you shoot in your backyard. It's like, oh yeah, it works. I mean, it gets dirty every now and then. I need a box of Q-tips, but then if you got to go fight in a fucking jungle or in a desert or something to be a real motherfucker and you die. Yeah. Simple is usually better.
Say that word again?
Simple is usually better.
Oh, okay. I didn't.
Yeah.
That's an interesting topic to me. I'm going to go learn about this gun. I might get one. I wonder if they'll make, there's probably not even a civilian version around.
I bet you can get one. Yeah. Yeah. SIG's probably, let's see.
SIGs are pretty expensive.
They are. They don't like me.
Really?
SIG doesn't like you? Why not?
I don't know.
They never liked you for some reason?
Did you talk shit on one of their guns or something?
No. I don't remember why they
There was a little holier than thou faction that didn't like FPS Russia and having fun and stuff.
Thinking it's more like, oh, you're taking this serious thing we do and making it not serious. And it's like,
I think that
shut
existed.
the fuck up, bitch. Have fun.
Yeah, right.
Look at the suppressor on this thing. It looks absurd. This is that rifle.
I was looking at that and wondering, why would they make it look so not cool when I've seen so many cool looking suppressors?
That is true about the suppressor.
It's not cool at all.
What? I don't understand that.
You're going to be trying to snipe someone and they're going to be laughing at you.
What am I? Is it
what?
It looks like on the top picture, it sticks out 2 inches. On the bottom one, it doesn't.
Yeah, so I think what they're going for here, my guess would be that they've got two variants of the same weapon system, and one is meant to be sort of a squad weapon, like a belt fed type thing, although it's not being fed from a belt. But it's also got a bipod attached to it. There's a bipod and a longer barrel on the one on the top, and the other is supposed to be like an infantry rifle.
I see. I'm like, why does the bipod make the barrel longer? That makes no sense to me. But
and if you scroll down a bit, you can see this hybrid polymer metal case, which is bizarre looking.
What are the benefits of bullpup style rifles? Like it keeps it shorter overall length, right?
Yeah, you can have a shorter overall length with the same length of barrel because the barrel is starting by your ear rather than by your back pinky finger, or like the action is set farther back. It's really good for close quarters because Like when you feel one, like Woody's F2000, that's a bullpup. It's, you've got a lot of maneuverability, but you've still got the high velocity of a longer barrel. And
Are
the
there any
accuracy.
downside?
I'm not an expert,
bullpup
but
design,
another
or not
down.
really?
They can be more complicated in the way they're put together. Also, the reloading, the magazine's back here, so
Oh, not very
reloading can
intuitive. Yeah.
your reloading can be more awkward. Because like reloading an AR-15, you're just hitting the release, and you can flick the rifle and the magazine's out, and you can bring it up without ever taking your trigger hand off. But with a bullpup, there's some stuff going on. You got to go under here.
I'm not a soldier, but a cool thing about the bullpup, I think, is all the times you're not shooting. Like the whole life you live with it, it's nice not to have a 3-foot gun hanging on you, getting in and out of the car. Like going to the back seat with an M4 is a thing. Just small's nice if you don't have to give up any accuracy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, you could definitely shoot a bullpup out of a car much more easily if you needed to. Or you wanted to.
Or if you had to for a top secret mission. I mean, I'm totally in favor of this new gun as long as they make the silencer cooler.
It looks like a beer
It's-
can, right?
It's pretty gay.
I'm a little concerned about the tan color. I like black guns.
I was assuming that it would be black.
We fight in a lot of
camo
tan
or
places.
digital. Yeah, I want digital. I want whatever Space Force. You know what? That should be the new camo. They're using digital up there in space. There should just be like stars and supernovas all over these.
Slap some of those glow in the dark stars you had in your bedroom, bedroom ceiling on the
From the
side.
ceiling.
Nobody move. Dmitry, is that constellation look right to you?
I mean, if Dimitri's anything the way Little Taylor was when he had those, is I would spell bad words using the stars on the ceiling, and then eventually, like my parents would come in and be like, "You can't write asshole right above your bed. You're 9."
I mean, it's pretty accurate, but still,
It's like, oh, I'm sorry. It's funny.
A kid wrote "bitch" in his a guy I knew's mom had "bitch" written into the dirt on the back of her car. And she's like, "That's not my kid. That's spelled correctly." It had to be one of you other neighborhood kids.
Just almost like a self roast,
Right?
Like,
Those are rare.
My pussy spits out real shoddy spelling kids. So.
Well, ball to show?
All right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Enjoy your Monday PKN, boys.
Yeah, a little early.